From the Toyota Soccer Center in Frisco, Texas, welcome back to Day 3 of the MLS Next Cup. Today, it is another U17 showcase matchup between Houston Dynamo and Indiana Fire Academy. We decided to pack the booth for this one. It is me, it's Justin Galanti, Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace. We're going to have a good time with this one. Sean St. Jacques is down on the sideline. And, guys, this is what happened, right? These two were too far apart from each other, and they said, can we sit next to each other for this one? And that's what we're doing. And Rodney had a great idea prior to the match. There's a bottle of hot sauce to my left. Someone in this booth, not me, is going to be taking a little swig of it at some point.
You opened up a
already know it's not me, so don't, yeah.
That is a dangerous precedent with this chat that we got to Twitch.
Jamie taking a shot.
All right, well, this is going to be a fun match first and foremost. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, as always, brought to you by Adidas, starting with Indiana Fire Academy. Jamie?
Well, when you look at this group, with the 4-3-3 formation they're going to want to play, at times you're going to get the tight, compact three in the middle, so that gives Paz and Bailey the ability to time their runs to come in and create number overloads in the midfield.
On the other side for Houston, obviously this is an MLS-affiliated club, and Rodney, what do you look for out of them?
And we want to see how they emulate the first-team system. We want to see how these young players can adapt as quickly as possible to the way that the first team plays, and we want to have this on display, and we want to see how organized they maintain their formation.
Well, our Adidas keys to the match are as follows. First, we will start with Rodney, and you just kind of touched on it, right?
Yeah.
Houston mimic the first team. What does that mean maybe for the, uninitiated viewer?
Correct. So at this stage of their young professional lives, it's more important about really realizing how can they make an impact within their careers now into the first team. So for them to be able to mimic and adapt as quick as possible to what the first team is doing, that's how they're going to get their names out there and be recognized.
Jamie, rise to the occasion. That's what we want to see from Indiana.
When you look at the Indiana Fire Academy, they go up against a very good Houston Dynamo side that have a clear identity of who they want to be from top to bottom. So to Rodney's point, when you know that and that thought process is implemented day in and day out, now you play against this team. If you're Indiana Fire, you've got to understand the moment and the occasion that this group is going to be very organized. There may be times in which you have to be able to absorb some pressure, and that's okay. And with this showcase format, you don't need to deviate from what you need to do and want to accomplish, if you're the Indiana Fire Academy, because this format is meant to show what you can do in your collective, some of the group, with their tactics and how they build into it. So don't be distracted by what Houston does. Try to implement your game and make the most of this opportunity.
Spectacular afternoon here in Frisco. Not nearly as warm as the last 2 days, and certainly a breeze in the air. Right now the temperature is 88 degrees. Real feel 93. Wind blowing 9 miles per hour southwest. And we are just about ready to get started in our third and final match of the day. And don't forget, you can be with us on Twitch. Ask your questions, make your points, comments, whatever it might be. We've got two pretty good guys to answer any questions that you might have to my right. And it's going to be a fun 90 minutes, fellas.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. Let's go.
That was my line.
Let's see some goals. I want to see some goals. I want to see some celebrations. Can we get some swagger, hot sauce meter? Can we get this? Let's get this going.
All right, so Houston with possession to start. The Houston goalkeeper is Angel James. 22nd start for him. He's split his season, U15, U17, obviously playing U17 here. And it is Adam Kelleher for Indiana Fire. Indiana team from about a half hour outside of Indianapolis. I was told it's a coaching staff that mostly all attended Indiana University. So a lot of ties there. You see the link for our broadcast, twitch.com, and you can find us there. And with any questions or comments you might have. Obviously, this is an in-state Houston team, and they are used to any conditions that you have at this time in the day in Texas. As Houston gets a good touch here and an opportunity, Parker Gamboa swings one into the box. Oh, what an opportunity as Houston nearly scored just over a minute in.
It was important to highlight right here the individual play on the wing, right? Recognizing that the defender was stepping up way too high and overcommitting to be able to make a beautiful cross across the face of the goal. The player might have taken a touch that he didn't mean to, but you know, it created some chaos, and now they're ultimately getting a chance at getting a goal off a corner kick.
Good ball in. That was not touched, so it will be a goal kick for Kelleher. So an early scoring chance. We've seen that throughout the day for sure, right? In these showcase matches, plenty of open play, plenty of scoring. We expect more of that in our afternoon match. I'm curious, you know, you guys obviously both spent a lot of time in Major League Soccer. Through the first 3 days here, when you've watched the academy teams that are affiliated with MLS teams, do you recognize the shape and the way they play from when you guys played against their first teams?
Well, I think it's ever evolving, right? And I think that's the beauty of it. There is an identity, but I think year on year you have to reinvent yourself, because if you get stagnant in your tactics, one, you get an influx of players, and sometimes you have to adapt. It should be a drop ball now because the ball hits the referee. So the new rule this year, they will do an uncontested draw ball. Houston will retain possession. You know, it's one of those things that when Rodney and I were playing, there was an understanding of what Houston loved to do. They were one of the best teams on set pieces. You could not concede any set piece within 35, 40 yards because they had likes of Brad Davis, the club legend there, that would swing service in, and Eddie Robinson. Craig Weibel would get on the end of it. Up top, Brian Ching.
That was a long time ago, Jamie.
Yeah, no, hey, look, here's the thing.
What you're talking about.
The games were broadcast in black and white when I played. But the reality is you have to evolve when you get new players in, new coaches in. And so with that, now they're starting to implement that group. And so it's not the same from when we played, but having said that, there was also similarities from what you see now with the first team all the way down through the lower age groups.
And it's important to add, too, adapting in the... Not just over the years, but adapting on the fly and understanding that the game will give you different scenarios, and you have to make sure that you are adapting and evolving to what the game is giving you. Sometimes you're going to have to switch formations.
There's Gamboa once again. Parker Gamboa getting walled off, still able to send one into the box. A bit of a dangerous area. Well defended, deflected back on goal, and it's a good thing Kelleher was ready for it.
Very bright start from Gamboa.
Gamboa has been active early on in this match, and it's very important to build his confidence and to send a message out to the left back to let him know that he is going to get the ball and go one-on-one almost every time.
There you get a look at Adam Kelleher, 13th game for Indiana. Head coach is Ernie Yarbrough. Dean Osmond Basic, the head coach for this Houston team, who, guys, I mean, look, to each their own, but all black outfit, quarter zip, pants. Feels like a warm day perhaps for what the Houston head man has on, no?
He's a pro. He's been doing this for a long time.
His shirt actually looks a lot like yours.
He understands fashion.
Almost 5 minutes gone by here. U17 showcase match. Houston and Indiana Fire. Justin Galante, Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace, Sean St. Jacques. Thrilled to be with you. This is our final match of the day. We'll have 3 more tomorrow. And we're going to be with you through all of next week and weekend. I guess it's this week now because today is Monday.
And we are back on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, I am on Twitch again. I am overseeing your comments. It is not Jamie anymore. He is not very good at multitasking, so I'm sorry if he wasn't giving you guys enough attention on Twitch. But I'm back.
Sorry, I was watching soccer. I couldn't listen to you. It was 2 things at once. What'd you say?
Goggles, welcome back, Goggles. Welcome back. You've been yet another loyal Twitch family member, and you said, wait, you played for Potomac? We honestly probably played against each other. That's awesome. And where did you play, Goggles? Where are you from? Where'd you play? What's your sign? Like, what's your story? Please tell us. We actually might even know each other.
What's your sign?
I don't know, but that's not...
Are you going to assess, like, a personality trait right now? I'm an Aries. What does that tell you about me?
That was very close
we
to
do not match. I'm a Gemini. Whatever it is, we do not match.
Hey, we're mending those those bridges. You and me, Aries and Gemini, one 3-man booth at a time.
What would you do if the ref hasn't been on your side the whole game? Well, the referee isn't really there to be on your side. It's really controlling your situation. But the ref is, he is a big aspect of the game. It's just really about understanding that you can only control your game, and you can dictate the tempo of how you play. You can dictate the tempo of your teammates by your actions. So it's not really about having the referee on your side or the referee is with you or against you. It's more about what you're doing on the field to raise the level and to make sure that you're doing everything to put your team ahead.
Here's another way to put that question a little more generally, not just with the referees, but, how do you deal with frustration when things don't go your way in the midst of a match?
Really, really good question, because it's one of the outside factors that when you go into a match, you don't have that thought in your head, but it sort of may creep its way into it. And ultimately, you got to remind yourself to control what you can control. And if you're getting called for ticky-tack soft fouls that you may view it as, this Gamboa goes for the Megan, doesn't get it, then stop coming to press even harder. Take a step back, give yourself a little bit more room. Just try to fix the things maybe that are causing the issues that the referee may not be giving you, or maybe calling tighter than you would prefer if that's their refereeing profile type. And so there's little things that you can do, but I would say the biggest one, just control what you can control and try to focus in on that, not the outside factors that you have
so you're saying
no control over.
The referee is not your friend. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think they're referees are humans just like us. I think you can go and have a talk to them. I think that some like to have more interaction than others, and I think some are more open to conversation and to constructive criticism. But look, that's also 36-year-old me saying that. 18-year-old me wasn't so eloquent when I was having those conversations. But I find you catch more bees with honey than vinegar, right?
I couldn't imagine how toxic you were at 18 years old on the field.
I can't imagine how toxic you are in this booth with me.
Well, Houston has held a good bit of possession in the early going here, just over 8.5 minutes in. And it's all about finding the line that you can approach and not cross, and it's different for every single official, but that old saying is if both teams are unhappy, that probably means the official's doing a good job, right?
Yeah. It's a thankless job, by the way. So it's one that's important. The game cannot be played without the third team, and we appreciate their efforts always, especially they're trying to get better just like every one of the players are as well. And will it be perfect like every player? No, but how do they bounce back? How do they handle it? That's what will be on display. And as Rodney talked with referee Joe Fletcher during the last game with a really insightful interview. You got to hear that these are up-and-coming referees as well, and these are men and women that we may be seeing around for years to come.
It's not just a breeding ground for players here. As Indiana looks to move forward offensively, Dennis Paz on a good run, laid it off for Alejandro Bautista. This one cleared towards the sideline. One of the players that Indiana head coach Ernie Yarborough told us to look out for is Grayson Elmquist, 39 in the gray kit. We've been doing kit rankings today, right? Started yesterday. We're moving on with it. What do you guys think of these? I know, Jamie, you said you're always a fan of gray, right?
Love some gray.
Who's gray? These are gray jerseys or white?
These are gray.
They're gray? I thought it had something to do with the laundry, so okay. So we're gray and orange. Somebody asked also what we thought about the Houston orange, and I just think it's the Houston orange. I mean, there is not much that Houston can do. There's a lot that they can do, and I think that there is more that they can do with the jersey designs. I personally feel that sometimes clubs just shy away from the creative aspect of jerseys, and why not get creative and create and make something that fans will enjoy to wear to a game. So for me, I always like to be more creative than less on the plain side. Sometimes it's about keeping it classic and then going past those limits.
Whole careers, both of you, favorite jersey that you played, team you played for, favorite jersey you wore?
Ooh, good question. Are we talking about just most meaningful? Because like that's the USA one.
No.
Talking the best looking one.
Yep.
I mean, I look great in all of them, so I don't know everyone, all of the above.
He doesn't take anything serious. Did you like the Real Salt Lake kits that you wore?
The first ones,
the ones that were three sizes too big for you.
Looking back at it, the style in 2005 when I went pro was not the same. I wore a large, and by the end of my career, when styles got like tighter fitting, I wore a youth large. It's not an exaggeration. So,
wow.
Yeah,
so
that's a true story.
Your whole career, you were uncomfortable playing.
Couldn't take a breath. Couldn't take a full breath. It was too tight.
Circulation was not great for one Jamie Watson. Can I get the extra medium, please?
It's medium. No, I'd say Minnesota United had some really good ones. They had a wing kit one where the loon wing of State Bird of Minnesota was across the chest.
Here's a giveaway and perhaps an opportunity for Indiana. Haven't had much possession through the first 12 or so minutes. Retreating it back, though, this is Amari Folks. Rodney, how about you? I mean, I guess we should, just establish that University of Maryland's #1 and go from there.
In regards to jerseys?
Yeah. I guess they didn't have the same kind of branding when you were there, though, right?
They were.
There's a big-time save on the shot there from Dennis Paz. First time that Angel James has been tested today, and he passed with flying colors.
And there's nothing better than to pass an early test that way, especially as a goalkeeper, to be able to make a big save. It seemed routine, but to be able to feel secure, to make things look safe, and to feel comfortable, it adds a lot to the confidence of the player, and it also makes the center backs, it makes the midfielders and the rest of the team know that they can count on the goalkeeper, that he's connected. It's always good to look over at your teammates and look at them in the eye and see how involved they are in the game, because at times you have to manage your teammates and you have to make sure that you are keeping everybody engaged. So to be able to get a glance and to see what a player needs. Does he need motivation? Does he need a little push? Does he need me to get on him a little bit? Those are things that go a long way in the communication of the team.
Player for Indiana got tripped up there.
As a young player, how can I deal with injuries and other setbacks? That is a great question. Setbacks and injuries. I dealt with them a lot through my career. An ACL. My first real injury was in 2010 when I broke my leg in DC United. So I broke my left fibula, and I was out for 6 months. So that was my first real taste of missing time and being away from the team. And especially when my rookie year went so well, my second season, half of it was just spent on the training table. So early on, I was able to realize how important it was to take care of the body and to make sure you approach things with the proper attitude. Everything that you do, if you do it to 100 and you get and you learn from it, it's only going. At times, injuries actually feel like they can make you grow as a better professional. So whenever you are faced with an injury, make sure that you respect it, not rush it, and understand that these injuries can actually give you time and opportunity to learn the game because you're away from it. So now you can watch, and to also build strength and work on the things that you maybe weren't as good at before.
While we have a moment, let's check in for the first time with our sideline reporter, Sean St. Jacques.
Hey fellas, I was just patrolling the sideline, checking in with both coaches just to kind of see their thoughts on the game so far. Dean Osmond Basic for Houston Dynamo talking about tempo, making sure they keep that consistent throughout this game. So far they've been off to a good start, but they want that to continue to stay at a high level. Ernie Yarborough on the other side of things, midfield connectivity he thinks has been lacking. His staff's been trying to keep those guys together to try to get more advantages in the midfield and choosing that to move forward and create opportunities from that.
Awesome stuff, Sean. He will be with us throughout the day. We'll check in with him as much as possible. Have some interviews with coaches and plenty of luminaries that are donning the sidelines. I was taking a walk during the second game today, fellas, and did a rough count of 20 to 25 different colleges and universities I saw represented just in this field.
Okay, did you see Maryland?
I didn't. We saw Sash yesterday.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
That's crazy. I saw 2 UNC scouts here, so that's fine. Just doubling up.
Well, Maryland, we. I don't have a response to that. That's a good one.
No, it's okay. It just means that they need more. Sash is, it's only Sash. There's only one person watching, so it's just a bit different. UNC feels like they need more to be successful, so don't buy into that stuff, buddy.
Here we go, Indiana. We see Oregon State.
UNCG. It's not UNC Chapel Hill, just to clarify.
So I heard you do this already once. Do you, as a corner gets swung in here on the Houston side, headed back out, top of the box, little room to operate. Can they get something away? Beautiful footwork. Shot got blocked. Rebound over the bar. What a chance for Parker Jackson.
Nifty footwork right here. And it's good to see a player be able to get that creative with that many players around him, and to be able to get a shot on goal is, this is the reward you get after completing such a hard task of dribbling past 3 players.
Great agility, and it falls to Maddox Finley, and because he's leaning back, that's why it goes up and over. As this falls to him, watch his body shape. If he's forward, he drives through that to the back of the net, but instead he's falling away, so that's what causes him to put it up and over. That's a little bit of that fine technique. That's the difference between that being 1-0 and being 0-0 and a missed opportunity.
Jamie, how many times after training did you spend shooting, doing shooting drills, working on your individual skills? How important and vital was that to your success throughout your career?
I think it's the difference, and I think you can attest to this, because in a team training session, your goal should be to accomplish what the team wants to and get better within the team framework, but then you have the opportunities after training and even before training to work on the things that fit within that parameter, but also you want to get better at. And those moments right there, it's the technique of when that falls to you, taking the touch out of your feet, and then your next touch is a goal, right? And then you do it again from the left side and then the right side, getting equally comfortable with both feet. That's something you were very good at as a player, being not just 1 foot dominant. You were able to do it with both feet, and I think that's, if you're a young player listening, you need to make sure to put emphasis on that.
Houston on the attack once again. This one deflected in on target and handled by Adam Kelleher, who's been a bit busy through the first 18 and a half minutes. U17 showcase match here in Frisco, Texas at the Toyota Soccer Center. Alongside Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace, and Sean St. Jacques, I'm Justin Galanti. Let's not forget about our outstanding crew that has done such a great job all week, and a lot of these guys obviously hanging out in the sun for many hours, and well, they're the real reason that the show looks so good. So a big shout out to them.
100%.
Waiting for some help here. Dennis Paz, able to possess for quite a while, though. Leaves that one for Elmquist, one of the standout players for Indiana. Good footwork in the midfield as Indiana looks to possess for a bit here, something they haven't done too much thus far. Ball towards the back post, gets run down, center out in front. What a score! 1-0 Indiana in the 20th. It is Elmquist, and Indiana strikes first.
I think it's just important to notice here the patience, the weight on the ball, and right here the player realizing that he's got numbers in the box, and to be able to strike the ball one touch right there, that is a pure striker's mentality right there. And to be able to just slot the ball and go celebrate with your squad, that's what means the most to these kids right now.
Oh, it's a fantastic finish as well to change the run and to find himself into that point. Now the ball's coming, you've got to make sure to stay over it, and that's the difference, right? That's the whole difference in why it's not 1-0 Houston and they go the other end, and it's not 1-0 because Elmquist in that moment stays over the ball, he drives through it. He's got Ekvis on the line as well as Angel James, but because the technique is spot on, that's the difference in it being 1-0 for Indiana Fire Academy.
Spot on, Jamie, and he was ready. He knew that ball had the potential to get to him before it even arrived. So being ready, having the right body language and the right attitude, and always knowing that at any given moment the ball can come to you, and having the play already prepared will go and make a long make a long-lasting effect in your career with everything that you do. Just being prepared before the ball even gets to you.
Guys, what's it like when you watch the first 20 minutes of a match, or I guess 21 now, like this, where the ball's been on one side of the field pretty much the entire time, and the other side is the one with the 1-0 lead?
I mean, I think that you feel a level of confidence that Houston does. Oh, what a lovely ball through.
Another opportunity for Houston. Good cross, but doesn't get all the way through off the touch.
Fantastic cover. You don't feel let down. I don't think the motivation has dropped, and you can hear the Houston players really growing into this match and being super supportive from the sideline. But you know the things you're doing are working, and when it's working and they've gotten their opportunities like they had with Finley off of Parker Jackson's lovely run through, it would be more frustrating if you weren't getting any opportunities. They just got to keep doing what they're doing, be a bit more clinical in the final third. Don't let the head drop, and that's partly on the coach too, to remind the players that everything is fine. There is no panic, but right now we need to just continue on, keep going.
Here's Gamboa. You guys have both been impressed with his play thus far. It feels like if Houston's going to get one here soon, he'll be somebody who's involved in it for sure.
And Gamboa knows exactly what he is doing. He knows how he's making the defender feel right now. Right now, their left back does not want to be in any position close to Gamboa, just because Gamboa knows exactly that he can get in behind, he can get balls off to the feet, and it's just been an unbelievable matchup between Devin Potts and Gamboa that I'm excited to see what the rest of the game has for these two players, because eventually, if I'm a defender, I'm gonna have to put my foot down and let Gamboa know that you are not getting past me anymore. So I'm looking forward to this matchup.
Bit of a presumptuous attempt there as we enter the 24th minute. So we obviously are watching a lot of very young soccer players throughout the week here, and I assume many of the people watching are the same, but you guys are both really prime examples of long, very successful, impressive professional careers, and use that to put together a really, I don't want to use the word impressive again, but impressive life after soccer. And it's not even life after soccer, it's life after playing soccer. Either of you, want to touch on not only what this sport has done for your life as players, but what it's, set you up for after?
This game has given me so much. It's given me such an amazing opportunity in life. I mean, because of this sport, I am able to be here and to be a mentor and to be a sounding board for these young players, and all the experiences that I've gained and all the knowledge that I've come across it's now time for me to pass it on and to give it to the next generation and allow them to be great, and for us to be here in this booth and to be able to broadcast these games for these players it's just an awesome blueprint to have, and it's just a helping hand for the development and the progress of these players. I like I said before, Justin, I wish I had somebody vouching for me and putting me on the map in a worldwide stage during my young professional career. So these players for sure are in a position to be successful earlier.
Elmquist with another look there, sent over the bar. Jamie, how about you?
I mean, soccer has led me to stay in the booth with you two, so it's given me everything.
Terrible.
So don't do it. No, it's a blessing. I mean, a lot of what Rodney said, and just in a personal term. I mean, it's the best game in the world, and getting a chance to still be a part of it is the best feeling in the world. And so it was something that I got to do and get paid for a little bit, and now I pay to do it. That's how much I like it. I still pay to do it with the over 35 league. Careful, Rodney, not the over 40 league yet.
Corner coming in for Indiana, goes all the way through. This will be a goal kick coming for Houston's Angel James. I don't want to bring up the injury you said you had the other day on a foul ball and kickball,
I mean, what happened
Is that going to keep you out of the under 30 league or whatever you're in?
Yeah, look, I might be on the disabled list. Rodney's talking about he had a broken leg, torn ACL. I did want to chime in about how my quad has a boo-boo.
What happened to your quad? Can you please...
Look, we don't need to talk about it.
Re-clarify for the audience.
It's a standard company-wide kickball tournament that you tear your quad kicking a kickball. It happens to everybody.
That's a disaster.
I've heard that story a million times, you know?
Disaster.
Angel James is in a little bit of trouble here, just like my quad. Plays his way out of pressure. At least he had the composure to sidestep the on-rushing forward and play it out.
Girl Dad 10, what's going on? Thank you for joining us on this Twitch chat.
We're part of that crew too.
Yes, that's right. Girl
Dad crew. Let's go. Great crew to be a part of.
What youth club did I play for? I played for the Potomac Cougars and Casamia Bays growing up. So a lot of my time was spent with Potomac, and you did ask if any Arnold. Arnold is my guy. That's my that's family to me. So he actually was the first coach I had when I moved to the U.S. from Costa Rica. I remember I went out to Robert Frost Elementary School to try out. I had on Reebok sneakers, and I was slipping all over the place. But somehow Arnold saw something in me, and now I'm here. We're great friends, and a lot of those players that I grew up playing club soccer with are still family to me. So what a run right now.
Yeah, it really was. As we get the foul, it was Maddox Finlay, and this is going to be a PK. What an opportunity for Houston, and Finlay made it happen. And Jackson in there as well. Can see Parker Jackson.
Great individual run right here. And showing the strength, too, and the determination to get into the box, and knowing that once you enter the box, you can only be so careful about how you approach it. But was it a foul? Was there contact?
Parker Jackson was getting contact in the build-up, but when he got into the box, pulled up the landing gear, and that's very savvy.
But that's experience right there that we see from a young player. So if a young player is able to do this at this level, and I'm not saying he was cheating or not, he was just deceiving the play, and he did a good job at drawing contact. So now let's see what happens in this PK.
Luis Moreno against Adam Kelleher. A chance to equalize for Houston. Moreno finishes, and we are level.
No questions asked. What a PK. Puts it in the right place right now, where nobody can really reach it. And I love the celebration. I love the teammates embracing. And I know what this means to a young team that was down 1-0 but dominating the game.
Steps up, opens the hips, goes high, so even if Kelleher would have gone that way, most likely would have gone up and over, and a fantastic finish from Moreno, confidently taken from the penalty spot. Parker Jackson creates it with a lovely bit of individual skill.
How far into the box was he? How far?
You know, one thing that's impressed me all week is obviously these are very young players. They know where the camera is extremely quickly after they score.
It's a skill. Jamie knows where the camera is at all times as well. Can you please tell us more about that, Jamie?
Yeah, you got to make sure you got to have awareness. You know, you had it on the field. Now you're in the booth. You got awareness. You knew who the camera was. You came in here, sat right in the middle of us.
You know what I mean? I gotta be surrounded by the best.
Houston looking to move forward once again. And this will be a goal kick coming as we'll have our first hydration break of the first half here. 30 minutes gone by and level at 1 between Houston and Indiana. Take a look at some of the fans on the far side there, as it has been a very fun match to this point. Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace, Sean St. Jacques, I'm Justin Galanti. We're glad to be with you. Hey, don't forget, keep chiming in on our Twitch chat. Ask us any questions you might have as you take another look at perhaps the foul, or we might look at this in just a bit, but a foul that led to a PK that just leveled the match with Houston. And while we have a moment, let's take a listen to our Adidas Sounds of the Game.
Hey, that's right. Here we go. Make him come back. Make him come back. Make him come back. Get even with the ball. Back, Eddie. Deeper, Eddie. Deeper. Step out. Logan, get higher. Let Dennis come over here. There we go. Ollie, slide inside with Amari.
Logan, defensively, you and Eddie are on their 2 center mids. In front of
higher.
Amari
You step it higher.
Bautista. Find out.
Go, Maddox. Yes. Up. Hey, Noah, cool as ice. Love that. Hey, if you see that their fullback's about to receive it, start sending Gembo.
Our Sounds of the Game brought to you by Adidas. Now let's check in again with our sideline reporter, Sean St. Jacques.
Yeah, Justin, thanks a lot. I'm with Houston Dynamo coach Dean Osmond Basic. Coach, your thoughts so far on the way this game has played out and you able to get back on level terms there?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. You know, I think the way we're playing with the ball is pretty good. We're creating the shape that we want. We're moving the ball. I think we can do a little bit better in that final third piece. I think we're getting a few chances. We're getting crosses. And just now that moment of individual quality by Parker to get into the box, get fouled. I think we've been in most of the control of the game. Our press has been good for the most part. Where we're getting in trouble, in my opinion, is where like the goal that they scored, we had a 2v1 on the side. We had the advantage. We let the kid get out. He crosses back post. We don't deal with it well. They swing it back across and they score. So we need to just handle those situations where we're in the right positions, but we need to handle those situations better, finish them out, you know, finish the tackle, and just some details of how we're pressing is, you know, not the best timing and things like that. So it's a new system we're trying, you know, first time, so you can expect a little bit of that, but hopefully with, you know, coaching throughout the game, it'll be a little bit better.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Sean and Dean. Back as we come back from our hydration break. And, you know, we've heard these coaches talk all week, right? And they are all so positive, and it's such a family atmosphere where whether it's, you know, a residency academy, MLS affiliated club, or any of these independent clubs that we've seen. But it's just, it's a really special thing, isn't it, to see some of these clubs that have had the same coach and the same group since they were, I don't know, 9 years old, making it to this stage, having this showcase opportunity. And you can tell how much these coaches care about these players, not only on the pitch, but also off.
Yeah, of course. And I think that this group spends so much time together. Both of these two teams do, really. But when you're in an academy setting, you really are all trying to work to the same goal. And the quickest way you get there is doing it collectively. And so I think that this group really is starting to show their camaraderie and their positivity together. Even the players on the bench are some of the most vocal people we've heard out here in this soccer complex. I mean,
Indiana with perhaps another opportunity. Good cross in front, a chance. What a stop. I was the defender, I think, Pania, who might have gotten in the way of it. Ivan Escobedo is the one who actually got his leg on it. Escobedo was just actually added to the roster today, fellas, and starting at center back.
I made a huge play because as the forward takes a touch, Escobedo has to come out bravely and make the challenge, and he has to get it spot on. If he doesn't, Indiana retake the lead and go 2-1. That's a brave challenge and a spot on one at that.
What have you two made of Indiana's ability to generate some really good scoring opportunities despite not having much possession in this match?
I think Indiana has done an incredible job of basically keeping the ball in their attack in third and making sure that they are consistent with their attack, and that's so vital. But it's also noted that they were rewarded for what they're doing in the offensive third. Okay, now we're looking back at the chat now, Justin. If you guys were MLS Youth Academy scouts, Jamie, what would you look for in a player?
Well, it depends, right? Different position. So let's narrow it down. What position am I looking for?
Okay, you're a striker.
I want somebody that's got really good movement in the box. Mm-hmm. The modern day game means you have to be able to hold the ball up as well and link play together with other people, meaning you've got to be able to get teammates involved. It can't be a black hole. It can't go into you and you just put your head down and you dribble, and it's either going to be a shot on goal or a turnover. Right, so you got to be able to.
Can't be Carmelo Anthony.
No, you cannot do that, and that's that would be a quality that would make me say, nah, not too big on that type of player that only wants to focus in on themselves. So you got to make players around you better, and then ultimately, you have to have a level of execution and scoring goals. You know, and if you're not doing that, then the life of a forward is based around scoring goals. So that's what I would say for a forward. I think that's what's most important.
I want to ask you, Rodney, about goalkeepers, right? Because how much
I'm not a goalkeeper.
I know, but how much of being a goalkeeper is really not dependent on you, right? You can give up 5 goals in a match, and none of them are at all your fault. So when you come to
if you
these,
give up 5 goals a match, so one of them has to be your fault for sure.
But in general, it's possible.
I hear you. I mean, you never know what competition you're getting, what kind of shots you're getting. But yes, I mean, it's a collective effort. But
so don't you feel pressure coming to these events where, okay, it's a showcase, I want to show well, and what if I give up 3 goals and none of it was my fault?
Well, that's the thing, right? I think that it's about the mindset. So if you're already coming into a tournament and you're worried about what was your fault and what wasn't, then maybe you are there mentally. You're not at a place where you can truly grow into a professional environment. I think that it is more important to worry about what you can control and not what's your fault and what's not. I think looking at the positive and always being on the front foot is probably a better way to evolve as a player. And if I was a scout, for example, I'm looking at a player like Parker Gamboa. I want to look at his positioning, his body language. How is he receiving the ball? Where is he receiving the ball? Is he too close to? If he's too close to the right back, for example, is he receiving the ball on the same line? Which is, as a scout, I don't want a player that's receiving the ball on the same line. Basically, I don't want the 2 players being on top of each other, but a player that can follow the instruction, follow the game plan, and at the same time remain himself and be an individual and exploit his attributes. That's what I want to see. I want a player that's true to himself, but also understands what it means to be a team player. The defensive work from a midfielder as well, for me, goes a long way. I wanna have a player on my team that is willing to roll up the sleeves and track back and get the ball. And those are the teams that I've had the privilege to be a part of, those teams that work together, and when you all collectively want to get the ball as soon as possible, as soon as we lose it, without complaining, and just hard work and the dedication. That's when I've personally seen the most results. But if you can't defend, and if you're not concerned about what anybody's telling you, and you're just an individual out there, I don't care how much you can dribble, how many goals you can score. I'm not looking for you. But it is good to know, for example, Parker Gamboa, I just found out from Twitch that he's a Costa Rican. So who knows? By me being in this position, being able to be in this tournament, to go through the collegiate ranks, winning a national championship, going to the pro levels, going to the World Cup, going to Gold Cups. These are things that I can give to a young player like Parker. I can tell him what are the things that he can do to improve his game and get to the international level. I don't know who he wants to play for, but maybe he wants to play for Costa Rica.
40th minute here, and 1-1 between Houston and Indiana. Justin Galanti, Rodney Wallace, Jamie Watson, Sean St. Jacques, our entire outstanding crew. Thrilled to be with you here from the Toyota Soccer Center here in Frisco, Texas. U17 showcase match here. And Jamie, we just got Rodney to basically read his LinkedIn page to us. Do you want to do that?
No, it's not as updated. It's a little outdated.
Here's an opportunity for Houston on a set piece.
Don't ask me questions then.
In fairness, you read that one off Twitch. I didn't ask you that question. See if either team can generate anything here late in the first half. Indiana got on the board early on the goal from Elmquist, then the response on the PK from Moreno. Foul behind the play there against Houston, and Indiana will have the chance to restart. Take a look there at Dean Osmond Basic, head coach for Houston. This team went 10-8-4 in the regular season, 4th in the Central South Division in league play, 2nd in the Frontier Division in flex play. Indiana was 9-6-4 Finished 5th in the Mid-America Division in league play and 3rd in flex play. And they square off here in this showcase as we have a player down here for Houston. It is the aforementioned Parker Jackson who had the run to set up the PK opportunity for Houston. I just saw on social media, gents, that the shootout yesterday between Barca and Dallas that we saw, the PK where the kid turned and
turned his back, just to give you context. He was set it down and then he turned his back like he was going to walk away to the top of the box.
Yep.
And then turned and sprinted after a step or two.
Yeah.
Hitting off the post. Where'd you see it at on social media?
It's starting to blow up a little bit. So my question to you two, based off that, is favorite moment that we've seen so far?
The shootout was good. It went 6-5 that round. It was a big moment in the shootout. FC Dallas Varsity Residency Academy. Yeah, it was FC Dallas Academy won the kickoff in the U19 playoff division. They decided to go first. And here he is, just casual. I'm not even going to do it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take it. And then he bangs it off the post. Tricked you. I mean,
clever.
You better make it, Rodney. Break this down. What's he thinking right here?
He's not thinking about anything but to put the ball right there. I mean, I don't know if he meant to hit the post and go in.
Fantastic penalty.
Completely turned around, turned his back on the goalkeeper and faked everybody out. But I've never seen a PK being taken that way, and that's world class for me.
Wow.
10 out of 10, 10 bottles of hot sauce.
ESPN FC tweeted that out to their nearly 5 million followers.
Would either of you have the guts to do that? Because, you know, it was incredible, but if you miss, it doesn't look unbelievable.
But that's what the player's bringing, right? His own personality to the game, his own. He's showing his confidence right there, and that play is not meant for anybody. So to be able to pull this off at this age and have that confidence, sky's the limit.
Parker Jackson back on and looking fresh and healthy, always good to see. 44th minute, and our score is 1-1. All right, let's see what we got. It's Dan. Been following this channel for over 3 years.
Shout out to Zidane again. He's back. Yo, Zidane, whoever you are, you have been yet another loyal Twitch family member. So thank you.
Zinedine Zidane. That's who it is. Oh, the soccer player. The former,
so?
Yeah, the former French captain.
No, that's one of Jamie's fake accounts.
Worth every year. Good job, guys. We appreciate it.
That's awesome.
We appreciate everyone who's been with us all week.
A lot of hard work goes into these productions, days on end, and the build-up, and weeks and months in the planning, and then to execute it. To hear that means a lot to a lot of people. So thank you. Keep your nice comments coming. Let's go with the Feel Good Monday here. Keep the chat going with some Feel Good comments.
I like that, Jamie.
Motivate Monday.
Positivity. You've really changed throughout the years. You've impressed me a lot.
I was just thinking, my biggest accomplishment is staying positive around you, Rodney.
Wow.
I'm really proud of myself.
It's all love here, no?
It's all love, eh? Hey.
How do you turn it on and off on the field, though? You know, because some players are, for example, the Kenny Coopers of the world are super nice, but once you're playing with them on the field, when the whistle blows, and these players transform, how do you manage that? How do you manage who you are on the field and off the field?
It's a really good question because the mindset of a person has to change when you go across the lines over the course of 90 minutes. You don't have to change your core values, but to play at the top level and the most competitive levels, you have to sort of find a different inner mentality that can be the most competitive version of yourself, because if not, you'll get swallowed up and eaten alive. I mean, you just cannot do it and have any sort of form of success if you're not competitive, if you're not driven. And you can be mild-mannered the other 22 and a half hours of the day, but you got to be able to find something that works and resonates with you on the field. And a lot of time, that's a big change for some people, but big difference.
See if Indiana can find something before we hit the break. A curling shot is wide there from Logan Neidlinger.
Good effort. I was taking good shape. Angel James was watching it go wide, and good effort as we get to Stoppage time now, 5 minutes stoppage time. Maybe one more effort for either side before we get to the halftime interval. This game's been very entertaining, very enjoyable. It's been open. Both teams want to play. Both teams want to press. Not easy to do at 2 o'clock local time here in Dallas, but credit to these players and their fitness to be able to do so throughout the entirety of the first 45 minutes.
Throughout the day, what do you think the cooler temperatures, if you will, compared to the last 2 days have done to the style of soccer we've seen?
I think that we've seen a lot of moments of greatness, and we've also seen pockets of the game slowing down, and that's completely normal. I don't think that these players are built to play the full 90 or the full 80 minutes at one pace, and that's not how the game is played. So I think that the teams have done a tremendous job of managing the moments, and we've talked a lot about this. And the game of soccer, within the 90 minutes, it's really about managing the moments and being able to know when to run, how to run, being able to know the difference between running hard and running smart. Those are little details that will go a long way.
I've heard you say that a couple times in reference to a couple things about, doing things smart as opposed to hard, right? Can you just go a little more in depth on what you mean by that?
Yeah, so I mean, you can be a winger and you can run really fast and you can pressure really hard, but eventually you're gonna get tired. And if you don't pick and choose the moments in which you have to be crafty, and if you overtire yourself, once you do receive the ball, it's gonna be hard for you to have enough air, enough patience to make the right decision. So being able to preserve your energy and use it in the right way at the right times to really show what you are and who you are as a player, with the ball, without the ball. It's just really about getting the best out of your own game without tiring out.
Guys, question on here, basically club soccer versus high school soccer. We get that one on Twitch.
Well, it depends on what you want to achieve, right? And I think if you want to have an enjoyment to the game, I think high school lends itself to that. You can enjoy it with your friends, your classmates, and other students can come watch you play. And if you have maybe some ambitions of playing beyond the high school level, I think club soccer lends itself to that avenue for reasons like this, where you get if you're playing for the right club that has the privilege to play in MLS NEXT Cup. There's hundreds of scouts watching, streaming in, being able to see it. So you have a lot more eyes on you that could potentially evaluate you and further your playing career beyond high school. That's what club soccer offers.
And Jamie is not exaggerating when he says hundreds of scouts are here. That is 100% the truth. Uh-oh. Jamie just put sunglasses on, so things have gotten real.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And now they're off.
And a good comment. I put sunglasses on. I got to submit. That's what you do, right? And immediately took them off and won't put it back on for the rest of the day.
I like them.
There is a lot of accountability in this group. I appreciate that.
Serious question, though. Did you miss the opportunity of going to high school because you went to residency? How was that?
Yeah, I'll give you the quick 10-second version because we're up against half. I wanted to play beyond high school soccer and college soccer, so that's why I went to residency and ultimately led to that.
Well, we have hit halftime, and Houston and Indiana have given us a very entertaining first half of play. Early on, it was Elmquist, a little later Moreno, and it's 1-1 halfway through between Indiana and Houston. We'll take a break and be back with you shortly here from Frisco.
Yeah, go. What you gotta do?
During the summer, yeah. Crazy go like jumps. Well, here's my question.
Let's wrap up game number 2 today in this under-17 showcase. Sockers FC against LA Surf. And it was Sockers FC that got off to the right start with a great finish inside the first 10 minutes.
Lugango steps in front of the pass. He goes from defense to offense, cuts inside, gets to the favored right foot, and he bangs it low and hard to the near post, drives it past the keeper for a dream start for Chicago Sockers FC. And then it continues from there. The Adidas man of the match, Peter Jancic, does a wonderful job getting in between the two defenders, takes a brilliant first touch away from the trailing center back, and he makes it 2-0.
And then this was the penalty at the end of the first half. Villa Gomez went down. He was hurt for a little bit as well, and he ends up walking it off to then convert the penalty.
Arguably the best player today for LA Surf, Aaron Villa Gomez, earns the penalty with a decisive run at the defender Suji, and then he steps up, opens his hips, closes them, sends the goalkeeper Gorecki the wrong way, who had a very good game for Chicago Sockers. He gets the goal to make it 2-1 before half, and then the game sees itself out from there in the second half. A few chances here and there along the way, but that's how this game would end, 2-1.
Welcome back to the Toyota Soccer Center in Frisco. It's halftime in this U17 showcase match at MLS Next Cup. Houston and Indiana level at 1. Back inside the booth, it is the three amigos here, and we are having a lot of fun. Rodney Wallace, Jamie Watson, Justin Galanti, Sean St. Jacques down on the sideline. Guys, let's talk a little bit first half. What were your thoughts?
Rodney, first time you don't have something to say?
Like I said, I am sick of you, but I will continue on. No, this was a very good half. I think both teams had they played a mature way of soccer. They understood their individual assignments, and I think that they're both very they were getting a lot of joy out of the wings. So for me, it was an exciting game in the attacking third. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, and I'll build off that. I thought Gamboa was really good in the wings. Parker Jackson, when he had his moments of individual skill, he could really just knife his way through the midfield. And when he did that, he caused a lot of problems, ultimately winning a penalty in dubious fashion. But there were some really good individual skills. And for the showcase type platform that we have here today, I think there's a lot of players that are making really good assertions of themselves in front of the scouts that are watching.
Well, you heard them talk about it. Now let's show you what they were talking about. Our highlights from the first half brought to you by Adidas, and a couple early chances for Houston.
Yeah, Houston had a few opportunities, and early on, they were really in the ascendancy. They were getting a lot of joy from wide plays. This one from a corner kick. It's going to find its way ultimately after some lovely skill to Finley, who leans back, gets it all wrong. Should have been 1-0, and it wasn't. Remained 0-0.
But then it was Indiana who was able to get ahead first.
And just hear the composure to just be able to put the ball in the back of the net. Grayson right there with the one-touch finish. It was an unbelievable effort just because of the fact that he took it with a first-touch finish. And that's really hard for a goalkeeper to stop, no matter how hard or soft you hit the ball.
So let's go to the individual effort from Parker Jackson. This is the look that will show there wasn't contact.
What's the problem?
There's no problem. He won the penalty, and as an attacking player, he did enough to be able to win the penalty, and then from there, up steps Moreno, confidently finishes it, showing love to his teammates sitting on the bench who have shown a lot of love, super supportive from the side. It has been a really entertaining first 45 minutes.
So I'm going to ask you two to play coach now. First, let's go with Houston, and let's go with Rodney. What's the conversation at halftime?
If I am the head coach of Houston, I would be saying to my players, we need to maintain the level that is going to take us to a different phase of this game. It's the second half. We need to ramp it up a bit more. We want to showcase ourselves. We want to make sure that we are showing that we are that we are at the Houston Dynamo. We are a professional club, and that we are going to put our front foot forward.
Yeah, that was one of your keys, mimic the first team, and I think they did do a good job of doing that. And like any good Houston Dynamo first team, they'll want to continue on with the press as the game goes on. And the other side, if you're Ernie Yarborough, I'm saying to the group, the chances are there, but they've come whenever they've gotten the ball forward in advanced positions in the wide areas quicker. And when they take their time, Houston's able to get back into their setup, and they do a really good job of putting 5 players behind the ball. Then the wingers start to get back. There's more numbers behind it, more difficult to break down. In transition, they have been vulnerable. Those balls from wide area and some good running we saw from Grayson Elmquist with the goal. It caused a lot of problems. Sean St. Jacques was able to talk with the Houston head coach. He said that is something that we have to do a better job of. So I would be reiterating that to the side if I was the head coach of Indiana Fire Academy. Continue to get it in wide areas, get the balls in quicker, and good runs in the box to get your finishes.
Well, while we have the chance, why don't we take a listen to our Adidas Sounds of the Game.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Hey, Noah! Sally, come on!
Oh, no! Hey, PJ, you try that one as well. Noah, wider, Noah! Enter! When the ball, hey, Exceli, when the ball's on their back line, I need all 5 of you to be a little bit tighter. Control your line. Gambo, just this mid position, and then read when you should run in behind, read when you create the 2v1. So if Noah gets it short and he has pressure, you create the 2v1 for him.
team talks, and you look at Coach Osmond Basic's team talk, he said to his players, guys, what do you think? What do you think about the first half? What needs to change? Multiple players talked about dealing with the pressure coming from Indiana, trying to be a little bit more composed with the ball at their feet. On the other side of things for Indiana, communication, communication, communication. Being able to talk to each other and being able to keep things really succinct between each other, especially in that midfield, as Coach talked about earlier in the first half.
Awesome stuff, Sean. Thank you so much as we get set to begin our second half. It's the back end of our triple header. We're level at 1. And, guys, pretty excited for these next 45 minutes, huh?
Yeah, it should be an enticing second half. Look, in the showcase format, you have the ability to try to open yourself up and try to be able to go back and forth, open the play up, maybe take a few more risks. If you were worried about advancing in a playoff format, then there would be the possibility of being a bit more tight and restricted in what you do. But because this is a showcase, I fully expect both teams to continue to try to play in the front foot manner that we saw in the first half.
Both teams bringing on several substitutes as we get ready for the second half to commence. Remember, if it goes through the next 45 and we do not find a winner, then it will end in a draw. And that is the rule in the showcase matches. Obviously, in the playoff matches, we would go to the shootout, which we did see yesterday as the second half is underway. And so glad you are with us once again. Don't forget, ask us your questions on Twitch. We will chat with you. We will answer them. You can ask Jamie anything. You can ask Rodney anything. Questions for me, questions for Sean.
And we already have a wonderful question here by Amin NYC. How does a coach advise players, or how is giving them instructions without giving away too much to the opponents? Because he's saying that they're saying that coaches are often shouting. So how do you give instructions to the players without the other team knowing? It's really not about what the other team knows and what they don't know. It's about what the game is giving you. And if you need to give your player instruction, it's probably something that you need to tell them with urgency and tell them now. It's not about what the other coach is going to hear. It's about what's going to make you and your player be successful during that specific moment and that action. So there is no secret because we are watching the game. We are playing the game. So everything is really out in the open. It's about how you can do something better than the opponent.
And not to be the old man screaming at the cloud, but
I'm going to be the old man screaming at the crowd. Go ahead.
In the way. I don't want to sound old. But nowadays, right, there's so much technology. Everything is on film that, as you said, right, there's no secrets. Everyone has seen everything you do, right?
It's almost better because it forces you to make sure that you're making the right decisions as a coach, as a player. You're mic'd up as a coach, and your coaching is on display. So just make sure that you're doing and saying the right things. It's not like you're supposed to cover yourself up because you're on mic'd up or on camera or you're too loud. Just make sure you're giving the right instructions to the players in a respectful way and get the most out of them.
Hey, let's check in with Sean on the sideline again.
Dean Osmond Basic was letting his players really dictate the halftime team talk. It was really cool to watch them kind of give him suggestions on how to adjust things for the second half. Multiple players were speaking up and trying to solve the issues that Houston Dynamo had to deal with at the half. It's another part of that, and allowing the players to really have a say themselves and try to fix those issues and continue to develop not only from the physical side but from that mental side of the game as well.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And guys, I think one of the kind of buzz phrases that you hear a lot nowadays is that whatever sport it is, people want their teams to be player-led and not coach-led, right? That's kind of what makes the best teams.
Well, and there's only so much coaches can do, right? In the build-up, they can implement the tactics in the week leading up to it. They can give all the team talks, but when you're on the field and you're in the midst of the games, the players have to be able to really coach themselves, and they're going to get a better feel on the field of what's actually happening as opposed to maybe a coach can see on the sideline and whatnot. So you got to have those leadership type players that can then make changes on the fly in the middle of the field. And those are leadership qualities that not everybody has. You can certainly hone those skills and sort of work at your craft to get better at those with your communication to your teammates and whatnot, but there's also an innate ability for some players, and those are the players that genuinely have longer careers because they are able to make the players around them better as well as themselves.
And I think one thing
everybody's looking for is leaders, right? But there are ways to be a leader other than telling everyone what to do, right? As a player on the pitch. I mean, we've talked a lot this week about how important communication is, but leading by example is important as well.
Well, everybody on the field has a role. So if you are doing your job, that it's letting your teammate know that you are in tune with the game, you're paying attention. So if the guy next to me is doing their job, that automatically means that I need to do my job, because we're in correlation with each other. So if he's making a movement to free me up. So I need to make sure that I know what he's doing in order to know what I'm doing. So it's not just about yelling and talking and you know, talk it out and all these things. It's about just following the game plan and knowing that you are part of a bigger picture, and it's not just about what you do on the ball. It's about how you move off the ball and how you can impact the game of your teammate.
So here's a free kick opportunity for Indiana. Headed away from trouble, but Indiana able to hold possession at least for the moment, as we are in the 50th minute, 1-1 between Houston and the Indiana Fire Academy from just about a half hour outside of Indianapolis. Jamie, we were talking a little bit about this at the end of the first half, and we ran out of time, so we want to bring this back because it's really an interesting conversation about, you know, what it was like for you not getting the chance to experience high school, instead, you know, electing to do things that would further you in the game of soccer.
Yeah, so Rodney asked the question, and I appreciate bringing it back up. It was a decision that I got offered with the U.S. Residency Academy, which is no longer going at this point in time, but U.S. Soccer would bring down 30 players to Bradenton, Florida, in an academy setting. You go to school there. It was actually technically homeschooling, but then you would train, you know, twice a day. You were preparing to play in the Youth World Cup in 2003 in Finland, and so that was a decision that made it 15 years old. I was finishing up my sophomore year of high school, and you make that decision not just for the near term, but for the long term. And that's all I wanted to do, was be able to play professional soccer, and I knew that was going to be the platform to do it. So it was a tough one, but a lot of these players, when you go into academy settings or residency settings, you have to make the decision for your future at a young age. And I think that actually lends itself to how certain are you? How much confidence do you have that you'll be able to put in the work? And then when you do make the decision, you have to work, because there's a lot of players that want to be a professional, but to put in the work to become a professional, there's a big difference. The effort is the difference. And so, fortunately, it worked out for me, but it was a big decision, and one that I think a lot of these academy players have an easier pathway now. They don't have to move away at 15 years old. They can be within a professional environment and climb the ranks, and the pathway to pro has never been easier and more direct, thanks to MLS NEXT Cup, MLS NEXT Academies, MLS NEXT Pro, and now all the way up to MLS. So these players have a lot of opportunities in front of them. They just need to go out and take them.
And that decision you made at such a young age, right? That wasn't just a you decision. That's everybody who's around you in your life, that, you know, they all have to be all right with you really pursuing this and leaving home.
Yeah, as a parent now, I don't know how my parents made that decision. That's a tough one to make at 15, but maybe they were just tired of me being on the house. They didn't mind. Maybe it was a lot easier than they thought.
I don't blame them.
You know, guys,
the call they've been waiting for.
I said you're away at 11 years old.
I saw there was an article a couple hours ago on my news app on my phone that said 5 keys to a strong friendship. I think we might all want to read that.
Okay,
can you give us the keys? You can't just start a story.
I didn't read it. We're busy.
Can you just make them up? And don't let facts get in the way of a good story. Lovely skill, by the way, from Mateo Pinella, who came on at halftime. Am I saying that right? Pinilla. We gotta learn to roll the tongue.
See, little things like that. Like,
here we go.
Here's a chance for Houston. Shot just wide of the bar.
No, it's okay. It was a great effort. But Pinilla, he made a great move to free himself. But then we see him make a pass that is not decisive enough, and almost puts his player in a bit of a sticky situation. So yes, the move itself, it's wonderful to have. But at this level, it's about the final product, just to make things easier for you on the back end of your career. So the quicker you can adapt to making fixing the small details, which the most important detail is not the move, it's the pass and being decisive. And how do I affect the game and how do I make it easier for my teammate? Those are the things that, as coaches, as scouts, those are the things that you're looking for, the fundamentals, and how can I position my teammate in a position to be successful, to win, to score, to attack.
This is a fantastic build-up from Indiana Fire.
Beautifully done by Neidlinger.
It's just great distribution from Kelleher, finding the substitute Connor Dora.
K Monty 12 on Twitch.
There's a save made. This first of the half by Angel James.
The question was, do you have any advice for players to handle the pressure at this age? So, I mean, yeah, definitely. I think that and we spoke about this, the players at this age, they have a lot of distractions and they have a lot of pressures, social media itself being one, and nowadays players can see competition worldwide. They have that at the palm of their hands, and they also have haters, and they have more insecurity. So all of these things are stressors that add up to these young players. So basically being mindful of your qualities and what you're about as a player, and understanding your own path. Everybody has their own path, but understanding what is going to take for you individually to make it to the level that you want to make it at, and not comparing yourself to a different player is so important. That self-belief and surrounding yourself with people that are supporting you and that care for you. You don't want yes men around you. You don't want people just agreeing with every decision you make, because every decision you make is not going to be the best one. But to have someone that holds you accountable and tells you, no, that's not the right decision, maybe you can do this, is so important. So surround yourself with the right people, and know who to trust, and know whose advice to take, and form your own opinions and have confidence in yourself.
Another build-up here for Indiana Fire. Couple players down to the turf. What do we have here?
Penalty.
Wow.
And a penalty after a lovely bit of skill from Benjamin Chavarria, going one-on-one at the defender. Watch the move, opening the hips, and then just dragging it by, closing by the quick burst.
Is that a PK?
Well, if the one in the first half was, then that one is consistent. So I do think that if the first one was given, I do think it continues on in line.
PK, in my opinion.
So to the spot we go, and it was a lovely move. Ike Dafe had come on at halftime, was the one that concedes the penalty, and it's a big moment in the match.
Dennis Paz has the opportunity to put Indiana back ahead. Here comes Paz. And he finishes 2-1 Indiana Fire.
Dennis Paz right there. The confidence, the patience.
The celebration with the teammates, making a lot of memories over there. Paz steps up, opens his hips up. Does a good job sending it low. This is a fantastic look at it. All you need to do is send the keeper the wrong way. Composes himself, finishes it expertly. Indiana Fire Academy regained the lead.
Dennis Paz gets his 6th goal of the season in his 18th match. And Indiana leads for the 2nd time this afternoon. Very impressive performance against an MLS affiliated club so far. So now we await and see, what will the response be from Houston? 58th minute here, now trailing 2-1. Now that we're, 13 or so minutes since halftime, how have you two seen the match change tactically?
The match has been up and down for both teams, but I've noticed that Houston has done a good job at giving what the game is, taking what the game has given them, what Indiana has given them. But Indiana, what they have done well is realizing that they can exploit the wings because of the fact that maybe Houston isn't so aware of of the pockets that need to be filled on the field.
Row coming for Indiana Fire.
Josh Baller-Skiller with another comment here on the Twitch feed, and it says, how do you gain confidence? Jamie, what would you have to say to that? How do you gain
confidence? You don't hang out with you for a while. That just ruins your confidence.
So do not listen to Jamie. He will put you in a bad spot.
No, I think it's consistency, right? I think that's one of the biggest things is when you do things consistently for a while, you start to feel comfortable doing it. And this is a good breakout. I think it's thwarted from there. I think that the more you do things in a consistent manner, the more you start to feel comfortable and familiar doing it, and then becomes second nature. So when they say you got to do something for 10,000 hours to perfect it, to become an expert in it. So, you know, it may sound like an exaggeration, but you just got to put in the time and the effort to do it. And when you do it, it just becomes something that you find a way to do it, perfect it, and feel comfortable doing it. It may not look like somebody else. It may not look like anybody else, but it becomes something you become accustomed to and comfortable with, and then you become confident within that.
I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on this. I mean, I've always felt like a lack of confidence comes from a lack of preparation.
That's a good point. Very good point.
That is a great point.
Did you see that on a bumper sticker?
No, I'm gonna make one.
He's full of facts.
That's my side business.
He makes cards. He's got things like that.
Hallmark, yeah. Beautiful.
Amazing, dude.
Well, 4th of July is coming up. What do you got one for us? What are you working on for that?
Working on making sure my plane ride doesn't get delayed that day.
There we go.
I feel like we need to get Jamie one of those shirts that has Michael Scott on it and just says "Boom Roasted." The one-liners.
It's a great office reference right there.
So here comes Houston once again, trailing 2-1, just past the 1 hour mark in this match. This is Andre Gitzow all the way in, just missed the back post. Oh, what a run.
Gitzow does so well, fresh off the bench, just being dynamic, creative, sees that it's not on one way, and then he goes the other, slides it through. Oh, and it doesn't miss by much. It just rolls inches wide.
Looked good the whole time, didn't it?
As soon as it left his foot, it just felt destined to go to the far post, and it doesn't miss by much. Big opportunity.
So a deep breath for that man for sure, Adam Kelleher, who's just allowed the one today on a penalty kick. And here in the 62nd minute, a 2-1 lead for his side. Comes through everyone all the way down to Mateo Pinilla. Good build up again here for Houston, starting to generate a little bit of momentum. Cross comes in, dangerous out in front, it's over the bar, off the deflection, comes down right into the arms of Adam Kelleher.
Oh, big opportunity for Maddox Finley. Does a good job of just sort of being in the right place. Again, Gitzow, as he comes off the bench, has just been so influential. Finley, he's trying to be clever and he's trying to be cheeky as he's going to catch Keller maybe leaning. He wants to go high. Oh, and he just leans back a little bit too much again.
Now Indiana looking to counter, left-footed shot just wide. A good chance for Ben Zek.
Ben Zek is putting himself in positions to score, and this is a true number 9 that wants to be involved in just about every play. It doesn't have to be the prettiest, but just having that awareness that you only might have one touch to put the ball in the back of the net it's already a good sign, a positive sign from a young player that wants to get to the next level.
Unfortunately, it looks like Zek might have tweaked something on that last attempt. And also the goalkeeper, Angel James, is getting, actually is doing the stretching out there. We've seen plenty of this, obviously some cramping throughout these matches with the Heat. Looks like Finley's going to come off here and be replaced by Miles Gehrig, as both head coaches getting some fresh legs on the pitch here. Both Dean Osmond Basic for Houston, and Ernie Yarbrough for the Indiana Fire Academy. Justin Galanti, Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace, Sean St. Jacques. Glad to be with you here from the Toyota Soccer Center. Game 3 of 3 today. And so glad you could be with us for all 3 of these U17 showcase matches. Right now, Indiana Fire, a 2-1 lead over Houston. And guys, we were talking about this tournament, how incredible it's been just over the first couple of days. And I think if there was one way to describe everything that has gone on here since the tournament started Saturday, I think it would be first class.
That's well put. I'm trying to think of a better way to describe it. Professional.
It has been professional. I do agree with that, Jimmy. It has been a professional.
Do you agree with first class, or you only agree with him?
First class professional from everybody, including yourself, Justin. You actually have been just about everything for this crew, so thank you.
You are far too kind.
So would you say, like,
no,
Sean and I have been like business class? We've been like coach? You tell me. I mean,
you're in the middle seat, buddy.
All the way 37B, all the way back by the toilets.
I'll tell you what, I was in the second to last row on the flight down here. And
first class?
Sure. They didn't give me that.
Well, all right, so I'm as close to the back of the plane possible, right? Mm-hmm. The people behind me got up and tried to get their bags as soon as the plane landed.
Wild move.
Just wait for it.
Wild behavior on a plane.
I mean, you're not going to advance past 150 people, right?
It's rookie behavior. Yeah. You just got to let them make the fool of themselves for that.
Hey, you know what?
And I mean, we're joking about that, but I think in all seriousness, MLS putting the resources behind to put this tournament in, have us here on site, being able to be here to interview the coaches, to be able to hear the sounds of the games as we're in a hydration break. It really shows the commitment from Major League Soccer to the youth to improve the pro pathway and to make that a real viable option for these youngsters.
And all 3 of us have had experience doing things remotely, and it doesn't do
not the same.
The events justice, right?
You can do it. It's just as we both said, first class and very professional.
Let's throw it down to a guy who is first class and extremely professional, Sean St. Jacques.
You're too kind. I just want to jump in on the airplane conversation. It's why I go window seat, guys, almost every time. You can be a little bit more patient. You don't have to worry as much about when you're going to get off the plane. It's going to go nicely. It's going to flow pretty simply. And you get a nice view for most of the flight. So I kind of tend to go window seat when we talk flights in that situation, speaking of first class.
Well, there's the Terminator down there.
Yeah, how's the view with the sunglasses on down there?
Do you usually travel with those sunglasses on?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you're pretty high up. Elevation is steep. But listen, Jamie got a little bit of flack for wearing the shades. I wanted to be part of the shade brigade.
Sean, I want to ask you this, though.
Sean, be yourself.
I need to ask you this. If you're in the window seat, and it's somewhat early in the morning,
I'm with you.
As we're going to get
why not, right?
The shade partners. Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
Future's so bright.
Strong without their behavior.
Sun's out, shades out.
Don't you have an odd responsibility, though, of whether to have the window up or down, just depending on the time of day, right? You don't want to bother the person next to you if they're trying to sleep.
That's an unspoken thing, right? Well, it's unspoken, right? If they're a little bit sleepy, you put it down, right? But if they're up and about, iPads out, snacks are being had, leave it open. See the clouds.
Right down here for us, so we'll send it back up to them.
We're gonna have to, just in case we get any more trouble with airplane stuff.
I think Jamie can throw it back to himself right now. Do we want to try that?
Go for it.
All right, back to you up there, Jamie.
Get up there.
I'm sorry for everybody listening.
That would have worked better if he didn't hurt himself playing kickball the other day.
Hey, great stuff down there, Jamie. Really top-notch stuff. We've been doing a lot of games together, haven't we?
Impressive stuff. All right, so we're back underway after the hydration break, 68th minute. And it is 2-1 Indiana Fire on the most recent goal on the PK from Paz. Got any questions in the Twitch chat lately?
We got some great questions coming in. Anyone got tips on how to start a soccer career?
Play soccer well.
They had to end a broadcasting career. Do what I just did there.
It's a great question.
No, I mean, Rodney, I'll let you take this one because your career took you to the World Cup. You went all the way to the top of the mountain.
I think that tips on how to start a pro soccer career are definitely to to decide what you want to do in reality. What is it that you want to get out of the game? And then when you do decide what you want out of the game, figuring out the little things that are going to get you there instead of focusing on where you're not. Focus on what's in front of you and what you can improve on. So if it's training every day instead of training 3 times a week, go out there in the backyard, start training, start focusing on the little skills. So do whatever it takes for you to get to the next level. It's not about making a huge jump. It's about making the little things that are going to get you closer to a bigger picture. Everything that Jamie did, don't do it.
Long journeys start with a single step, right?
Oh my God, bro.
I actually got that one from video game.
I'm done about it.
What video game was that?
Little 2K.
Oh, there you go.
My player mode.
You're a big 2K player, huh?
I'll be honest, I used to be, but it's been more than 2 years probably since I've touched a video game console.
Rodney was a professional on the field, and he was a professional Dungeons & Dragons player as well. He told us about that yesterday.
Hey, new season of Stranger Things, Volume 2, Friday.
All right, big opportunity. 70th minute.
Yeah, it really is.
Set piece.
Houston trying to make something happen, trailing 2-1 in this showcase match at the U17 level. Ball coming in towards the near post. First head on it was an Indiana one. Still dangerous for Houston, trying to get back on possession, but it comes well outside the box. And Indiana averts any trouble for the moment. And a chance from well out, swings over the bar from Escobedo.
How hot is it right now?
I will check for
Ask
you.
your personal assistant, Siri.
You don't have your own phone, do you?
91.
Justin, how hard is it right now?
Feels like 96.
However, wind gusts are up to 17 miles per hour.
Do you guys get funnier the hotter it gets? Is that what it is? That's the trick?
Funnier? I was just reading the weather report.
Simple things for simple minds.
hey guys, be serious. Stop. Be serious. Apparently we get off the topic way too much. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. We apologize. We're back.
We are having a litany of subs here for Houston.
So the confusion is right now, you only allowed 7 substitutions across 3 window of opportunities throughout the game. Halftime not counting as one. So we'll have to be some clarification on if the substitution will have to be, and you also get a limitation of the subs, and there's been already 5 subs now, so this will be sub 6 and 7. They won't be able to make the 3rd sub. So it looks as though Parker Jackson was set to come off. He's going to stay on. And unfortunately, it looked as though number 43, Braden Pereira, was set to come on.
There you see the rules here. 7 subs, 3 moments, plus halftime, no re-entry, as Jamie described so well. Hey, we've talked a lot this week about different pathways to a professional career, and you guys both had different paths to get to the same route, which was through the collegiate ranks, right? And you both, I'm sure, have some great memories from those days. Obviously, Rodney, you won a national championship right here, and Jamie, a tremendous goal scorer at the University of North Carolina. What do you guys think the college experience did for you before you became professionals?
Well, for me, it might have been a little bit different than Jamie, because Jamie was already in a residency program, so he was used to being away from home and on his own. For me, it just gave me that sense of professionalism. I was independent. I had to rely on myself. I had to rely on the people around me, my teammates, my coaches. So for me, it was an eye-opening experience into what it was really like to fend for myself and to be in an environment where I didn't have things just always available to me. So for me, it was more of a personal growth moment. Yes, on the field, I was able to develop. I was able to develop physically because of how we ate and how we lifted and and my game changed because of the environment that Sasha provided for us at University of Maryland. But ultimately, for me, it was just about the growth, and it prepared me to be a better professional earlier on.
Sasha Zarofsky, longtime head coach at Maryland, and we had on the broadcast yesterday one of countless college coaches that are in attendance this week, as there is a lot going on right now. If you look just to our right and all the people around all the fields here, just an incredible complex in Frisco and a superb host to this MLS Next Cup. Guys, what do you think Houston can do to try and find one more to equalize in these final 17 or so minutes?
Gatao's been a really good addition. He's been lively. His introduction has really been a good one for Houston, and I think their spacing has been key, but then also it's the quick movement of the players up top being able to make diagonal runs in behind, as we're seeing right on cue.
Beautiful ball there, but it is offside as the flag is up.
I think Gatao is doing a great job at driving, getting the ball and driving forward, dipping his shoulder, creating one-on-one opportunities, and making that defender have to dive in. He does need a supporting cast. He does need crosses into the box, and when the ball is that wide, Houston needs to put more numbers around the box. There needs to be a sense of urgency. They are down a goal, and it is the 75th minute. So I'd like to see more of a supporting cast around Gatao, and how he's playing right now. It needs to be lifted. The level needs to come up from the rest of his teammates.
There's actually a handball on that last whistle, as Elmquist, who had the first goal today for Indiana, comes off. To much congratulations from his teammates and coaching staff, and gets to choose his favorite flavor of beverage as well.
Body armor is the choice, clearly.
But the flavor of body armor.
What flavor?
Strawberry banana.
I like
I like the light ones.
The strawberry banana is good too.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin. You were trying to get
the
a word in there.
Orange mango.
You were trying to get a word in, but our friend wouldn't let you.
Well, Rodney's going to list all the flavors.
Yeah, before you can say
just do that.
Yeah, that's
Tropicana.
fine.
Anything else?
Justin, which one?
I like the light blue bottle one. I can't remember what's
the blueberry pomegranate.
This is why we didn't ask you about the drinks.
You wouldn't have known. I didn't know if you would let me. Still 2-1 Indiana. You know, interestingly, the last two goals in this match obviously have come on PKs. And we have seen very impressive from U15 all the way up to U19. The composure, I think, from all the players on the PKs we've seen has been very impressive at their age, huh?
I agree, especially with the last PK we saw on ESPN. How many likes did that get?
I mean, it
went viral.
Probably going to go up. Keep going up. I'll let you know right now.
Being able to turn your back on the goal and the goalkeeper, and then all of a sudden coming back to strike it and hitting the post and have it go in, that's pretty impressive. I've never seen that in my life, like I said, and for a player to do that at such a high caliber game with so much pressure under him, it just shows where he's at mentally.
Current like total is 1,346.
76 minute now. We need some match predictions from our Twitch people. What do you guys think is going to happen within the next 15 minutes? Please fill me in.
And do you want Jamie or Rodney to take a sip of hot sauce?
Guys.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not making it.
No,
Rodney, it'd be good TV. I think the Twitch people want to see it. You called them family. They are like family to you. Last thing you want to do is let down family.
They haven't asked me to do anything.
Well, not yet, but look down at the box. If you guys want to see Rodney take a swig of hot sauce, get in the chat. Let us know. I can't. I'm lactose intolerant.
That was nearly an opportunity for Houston. I don't know if what you just said made any sense.
You say it quickly and confidently.
That's true. You know one of my favorite things to do, saying that make you sound like smarter, I guess, I think.
What's that?
Is if you don't use round numbers. So if you're talking about, I don't know, let's say the best soccer players you've ever seen, he's one of the 7 best. Unless you say, top 5, top 10, that's a little lazy. But if you throw in kind of a number people don't expect, it makes them think of you a little differently.
I actually like that a lot from you.
Yeah.
These are little things. I'm learning a lot from you, Justin. Thank you. Odd numbers.
I learned that
odd numbers, they will know that I know more.
The other day, I saw this stat that said 71% of statistics are made up on the spot.
Oh, I know what brand
Not
of beverage
70?
you got.
No, not a round number.
Well, Houston's done a very good job holding on to possession, right, over the last couple of minutes, generated some chances, and we'll see if they can find an equalizer with just over 10 minutes and then whatever time we have added.
If Houston
wins the game, I will drink the hot sauce. How about that?
Sizzling Bacon is looking out for you, though. Is hot sauce vegan?
And Amin over here, I thought we were on the same side over here. You want me to drink the hot sauce. But I will. If Houston wins the game, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rodney, you were going to read the name of what the hot sauce is. What is it called?
We can't say it.
We can't?
It's medium hotness, though, and I doubt that based on how aggressive the name is.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
It's called, I'll change it. It's
Here we go. Houston going short on this.
Chance for the in-state team here. What can Houston do late?
An overlapping run. It's on.
Plenty of room out wide. Into the box it comes, pinballed around there, and Indiana is able to clear it out of trouble.
I just like to see more quality from the service. I mean, you have so many players in the box. It's almost as it almost serves as a waste of time for the players that are defenders that have to get all the way up the field, and then when the service is there, it just doesn't come with quality. It's a waste of time, and I'd like to see more composure out of these players within the final details. These are the things that make a big difference. Can you cross the ball? Can you show me consistently that you can cross the ball? That's what we want to see as scouts, as people that are in the audience, as coaches.
One of my favorite lines that I've heard you use over the last couple days.
You're telling people that I use the same line all the time, bro.
No.
You know what? I'm out of here.
I love when you say you don't get those chances back.
Yeah, it's true. No, you don't get the same chance back ever again. So making the best out of your opportunities, that's the only way that you're going to move forward.
I'm also pretty proud of all of us that we've gone nearly 3 full days here, and nobody has said be a goldfish.
Nobody says that. Where do you hear that?
Certain television show. I assume no one really says it.
It would have worked today with orange jerseys. A little clipped in ball.
The directive from the Houston sideline is press. He's done a very good job keeping the ball on this side of the pitch, but
Indiana Fire is so compact. This is so difficult to break down, and you break it down by moving the ball quickly side to side, and then ultimately you've got to get some runs that sort of throw some defenders off, that rely on communication to be able to get movement across the face and behind a center back and behind an outside back when they're not looking, when they're getting caught ball watching.
Chester Slick on the chat. Houston ties the game in the 91st minute. That's not a Houston win. That would be a tie. So there is no hot sauce for me in that scenario. So
I guess we never really asked. Do you enjoy spicy foods?
I do.
So this is not that big a deal for you?
No, it's a big deal because I will be consuming bun burning original hot sauce. Where's it from? From the taco shop.
And no free ads. Hashtag.
It's
no free
medium.
ads.
That wasn't actually the real name of the place, don't worry.
No, I edited it.
We are open to sponsorship opportunities. Be the official hot sauce of Major League Soccer and MLS Next Pro.
You know, I guess this is the time to ask you both about this. The landscape changing. As here's another chance for Houston, trying to put together a run and trying to find an equalizing goal late in this match. To the left foot, shot deflected.
Hey, Tao's got the sauce though, doesn't he? He is
he's so nice right now.
He is silky smooth, isn't he?
He's on a mission right now.
If Houston are going to get back in this game, I feel like he's going to be involved.
Well, they go quick on the corner here. Seems like Houston feels they're the more fit team at the moment.
Notice how much attention he demands. 3 defenders around him every time he gets the ball.
Good cross out in front. Redirected wide of the cage. Still held on to. Left-footed strike well over.
That's difficult when you're flat-footed. Trying to change your body shape again to drive through it and keep it on target. It's just a difficult strike that maybe in that moment keeping possession and trying to work it wide again to get another cross in or slip a teammate in is the better option.
So it's not, I'll just bring up the point I was going to. It's not the time to have the full conversation about it, but obviously for everybody, right, the landscape changes with NIL in college soccer with what we were talking about before. It just comes into my mind because you were talking about wanting to find a restaurant here to sponsor you. So.
Hey, in college, I would have taken anything. I was a...
You're talking to a 38-year-old man right now.
Who?
You.
He's not the... That's a little...
I'll look a day over 36.
You both recently had birthdays.
Yeah.
Favorite, what's the dessert of choice on your birthday?
All of them. I
like that.
Ice cream. Can't go wrong with ice cream.
Okay.
What type of ice cream? Get specific.
Cookies and cream.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm simple. Easy guy. What about you? You're going to have some tres leches, some soda like.
Yeah. How did you know I was going to say that?
I just thought of the most.
Like the best Costa Rican dessert ever? Is that what you thought about?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. I know you.
I know you know me. I like that.
So what are
Justin's the vanilla guy for sure. Vanilla ice cream.
I mean,
simple, simple,
and
solid, can never go wrong. Steady Eddie.
There's nothing wrong with that, Justin. Either.
Yeah.
Sprinkles.
Here we go. Guy Tao's gonna do something creative here.
See what he's got for us.
Tell you what, it's gonna come off that right foot.
The boy's heating up. I'm telling you.
Guys, how do you attack a defense late in a match like this that is so compact that you were talking about, Jamie?
Well, it depends, right? You look, they've got 3 center backs in the middle of this back 5 right now. So crosses, they're very tall as well. They've been very good early. So getting it wide and running at defenders, this is the best route. Go one-on-one. And get the feet moving, running back towards your own goal.
And what about the numbers in the box?
This is the time to take chances, so get numbers forward. If you're on the opposite side and the opposite side midfielder is running at the defender, you need to be in the box. If you're the far side guy, it needs to just sort of ebb and flow. So if Gaitao gets this and runs at him, I think that would have been a better option in hindsight as that carries up and over the end line.
But there's also a difference in between just lumping the ball up the field and blindly crossing. There's a difference between that and really having a target and having crossing the ball with a purpose, putting the ball in the right place, hitting it the right way. Is it a backspin? Does it have curve on it? So all of these things, they make a big difference because you want to put your team in the best place possible to win the game. So being down by a goal right now, that means that the crossing has to be quality. You have to be looking for a player, not just specifically just throwing the ball up in the air.
86th minute. And now the 87th minute from the Toyota Soccer Center here in Frisco. U17 showcase match here. 2-1 Indiana Fire Academy lead over Houston. Alongside Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace, and Sean St. Jacques, I'm Justin Galanti. Our entire outstanding crew has done spectacular work over our triple header coverage today. And guess what, fellas? 3 more tomorrow. We hope you'll be with us for all of that, but still a little business to sort out the rest of today. Let's check in with Sean St. Jacques one more time.
Yeah, guys, just checking in on the Indiana side of things, trying to see this game out. It's a lot of guys, coaches, players, every little touch, every little moment where they're starting to get the ball back or make a defensive stand. A lot of big cheering from the bench, trying to get them over the line. Staying compact, staying organized down the stretch, the key to seeing this out.
Thanks again, Sean. Awesome insight from down on the sideline throughout the day today. As now's the time where Indiana is going to take as much clock off as possible with every action the rest of the way.
This is where they can put it away. Some good service. This is a set piece opportunity. 3 players in the box. You have to be really accurate. Everybody back inside the box for Houston Dynamo.
Was that last touch by a Houston player? I believe it was, and this will be a corner. There's a pretty good break for Indiana. Goalkeeper directing traffic, Angel James. Allowed 2 today. One very early to Elmquist, and then Paz had one on a PK. This one sent right in on him, and James makes the easy stop. This is one of those spots where if you're a coach, you're saying to your players, based on the time and score, be quick, but don't hurry, don't rush.
Gotta have care, gotta make sure this delivery is spot on. Pick your head up, make your choices.
Good handle in the midfield there from Ben Chavaria. And we've crossed the 89-minute mark, and right now Dennis Paz PK in the second half is holding up, with Indiana up 2-1 over the Houston Dynamo. And a player down here for Indiana. 3 great matches today. A lot of fun, a lot of outstanding skill that we have seen on the pitch. And we've said this every day, but I mean, it is a true privilege to be on site here.
Couldn't agree more. Well said.
It's a privilege to just be around both of you, all of you, everyone here. It's just a
team camaraderie is high.
Good environment.
It's high. Vibes are high. Camaraderie is high.
But in all seriousness, though, it's really about being able to see the talent, to be able to showcase these young players, and to put them on a platform to rise and to get to a place where they want to be, whether it's college, whether it's the professional world, whatever it is. We're just here to uplift and to be positive and to give these young players an opportunity to move on in life and do better than we all ever did, right? We didn't have this growing up, so why not be here and support and give forward to the game, pay it forward.
Perhaps only a few actions remaining in this match. We'll see if any opportunities arise for Houston to try and equalize, as it, at least for the moment, looks like Rodney's going to be safe from the hot sauce. But Houston would love to find one more here late. Houston still being patient. Ekvis sends it forward. This is Mateo Pinilla. Back for Oxeli Ekvis. Things now fully in the officials' discretion. How much longer we go? Throw coming here for Houston. And the keeper all the way up here is James. Elmquist scored early for Indiana. Moreno leveled in the first half. And the 1 goal in the second, as that opportunity goes away from Joshua Jory. A close chance very late. How about that?
Yeah, he's just trying to change the angle of it. He doesn't have the time to be able to track the flight of the ball, find out where the goal is, so he's using that sort of sixth sense to be able to try to redirect it towards the corner, and just barely misses wide. Would have been spectacular to equalize in that fashion.
1 goal in the second half, the PK from Paz. Will that be the winner? Foul here is a little forearm in the back from Gitsau. And now for Indiana, it's all about holding on to possession
and trying to hold on to a victory. Throw coming for Shavaria. Into the 94th minute.
And this is a big learning opportunity for Indiana to be in a position to handle themselves the right way, up a goal in the 93rd minute. You know, this isn't something that is easy. It's something that you have to go through. So for these players to be in this position and to understand what that means, that's great.
We have reached full time, and Indiana Fire Academy takes down Houston 2-1. Guys, tremendous match, and the PK from Paz holds up as the winner. Start with you, Rodney. What stood out the most from what we saw this afternoon?
I think the resilience shown by the Indiana team, that's what stood out for me. I think that they did not back down from the challenge. They understood that they were playing against a Houston Dynamo with maybe a different style of play, a Houston Dynamo that comes from a professional environment. But they did not back down. They played their style of soccer, and they were able to be successful, come out with the 3 points.
Jamie, final thoughts?
Thought it was a match that was worthy of the platform it was given to be streamed. It was entertaining. There was some really good individual performance on display in this showcase, and I really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful match, some good moments, and some players that I think really improved their stock in some scouts' eyes today.
You know, there were some really, really impressive players on the pitch today, but for our Adidas man of the match, we're gonna have to go with one of our own, I think. It's going to be Jamie Watson, the first ever toss to himself.
Up there, Jamie.
Get up there.
I'm sorry for everybody listening.
That would have worked better if he didn't hurt himself playing kickball the other day.
Hey, great stuff down there, Jamie. Really top stuff.
The Book of World Records has one more entry.
Hey, I tell you what, Wes Crow, producer extraordinaire. Well done. And that was clearly the best, most meaningful highlight, man of the match performance of my career right there. Glad to share it with you fellas. And also glad I didn't rip my other quad jumping up on the stage.
I thought you were going to say rip your pants.
That too. That too.
That'll wrap things up for us today. So glad you could be with us. Our next match is tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, when Sacramento Republic takes on New York Red Bulls. For now, we say so long for our entire spectacular crew and my partners Jamie Watson, Rodney Wallace, and Sean St. Jacques. I'm Justin Galanti. This one has gone final as Indiana Fire Academy beats Houston 2-1. Have a great afternoon, everyone.